Hi, besties. Welcome back to the Bestie Talk podcast. I'm your host, Kianna, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to tell if he's the one. And I'm also going to teach you how to tell if you are wasting your time in a relationship. We're going to split this into two parts. First, we're going to do how to tell if they are the one, and then we'll do the other stuff at the end. I am really excited to do today's episode. If you know, I have been in my marriage. Well, I've been married for 2 years, but me and my husband have been together for about 8.5 years. In May, it'll be 9. So I definitely think I have some serious cred in this department. So I give relationship advice a lot. I have most of my friends are single. I'd say about half of my friends are single. So I feel like I give some pretty good relationship advice. I see as much as, yes, I've been in a relationship for a long time and a healthy one at that. I've also had some toxic relationships and I've seen some toxic ones. So I got my cred, I got my street cred. Okay. So we're going to literally jump right into this because by the time you guys are watching it, today is voting day. Today is Tuesday. What is it? November 5th. So I gotta hurry the fuck up and I gotta go vote after this. So we're hurrying. We're not gonna hurry, but we're gonna get to business. I got my notebook, I got my journal, everything. We're ready. Make sure you get your journal and get your pen, honey, because we're gonna jot these notes down because you need to know all of these to be able to find the one. Okay. First things first. First things first. I need you to identify what it is that you think the one is. What is the one to you? What do they look like? Because I'm not going to sit here and say that looks don't matter in a relationship. They do matter, but they shouldn't be the only thing that matters. Okay. So what do they look like? What is their job? What is their personality? What matters to them? Everything, pretty much literally everything that you can think of when you're thinking about the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. What does your life look like in 10, 15 years? And what does that person how does that person help that scenario that you have in your mind? So if you dream of being a housewife and living on a farm in Connecticut, right? So then you need to definitely find somebody who likes to be on a farm, who has a good stable career, and who probably lives in Connecticut, right? So I need you guys to identify what it is that you want when you're thinking about the one and literally write it down. You guys hear me talk all the fucking time about write shit down, journal this, journal that, but I'm gonna say it till I can't say it no more. Journal that shit out. Write on a piece of paper every single thing that you want from your dream person, your dream man, and then you can compare that list to whoever it is that you're thinking might be the one. Okay. Next thing, we want you to figure out what are your non-negotiables. Okay. So what are things that it would be a non-negotiable for you? For me, for example, I wanted my husband to be somebody who was definitely family oriented, who loved my family and my family loved them. Thank God I have that. My husband loves my family. My family loves my husband. That was a super non-negotiable for me. So figuring out your non-negotiables and sticking to them. Stand on business, babe. Do not sit here and have non-negotiables and then this a man comes into the picture and he has your biggest non-negotiable and you just let that shit slide. Okay? Stay on business. I also want you guys to look at couples in your life. And when I say look at couples in your life, I'm not talking about couples in movies, couples on books, in TV shows, famous couples. I don't be comparing your relationship to Tom Holland and Zendaya, okay? Because they're goals. So don't be comparing your relationship to them. Look at relationships and couples in your life, genuinely in life, your parents. And when I say that, I also mean the toxic ones. I'm talking about if your parents are toxic to each other, or if you're best friends in a toxic ass relationship, or, aunt and uncle who've been together for years and you love their relationship dynamic. And when I say literally look at every single couple that you have in your life and study it and kind of analyze it. What do you see in those relationships that you like? And what are some things that you see that you actually hate? When I look back at my parents' relationship, my biological father and my mom, in what their relationship seemed like and what my mom tells me about it and even what he had told me about it, I saw a lot of things that I did not want. Like I hated the fact that my bio dad would always call my mom like crazy because, typical like crazy Hispanic lady. She's like, loud and blah, 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 blah. I used to hate that shit. Like it would get on my nerves. So that was something that I knew that I could not stand in my relationship, is like a man being like, oh, she's crazy. Like, she acts crazy. And don't get me wrong, like I be getting crazy. Like I'm a little toxic and I be getting a little crazy, but my husband has never called me crazy. He's never been like, oh no, she's acting crazy or whatever, because that's something I don't like. So paying attention to little things in other people's relationships. And when I say that, I'm not talking about like compare your relationship to other people, because you're going to hear me talk about comparison later on in today's episode and how it's just going to fuck you up. But just study it. And when you really like sit down and study like other people's relationships, you will be able to realize like a lot of the things that you're going through in your own relationship are a lot more normal than you think. So look at other people's relationships around you that are close to you, that you actually know what the relationship is like. Not like when, like, again, going back, not relationships that you're seeing online, because relationships you see online and you see on movies and TV shows and books, they're not real. Like the shit that you are seeing online and all of that stuff is not real. People aren't going to post their bad shit. They're only going to post their good shit. So don't be paying attention and focusing and comparing yourself to those relationships when you're trying to build an actual stable, healthy relationship in real life, because online isn't real. So definitely pay attention to that. Remember that when you're looking at other relationships in your life. Number 2, what does this person add to your life? So do they even add anything? Like literally, when I say do they even add anything, do they like add security to your life? Do they add happiness to your life? Do they add positivity to your life? What is it that they add? A huge thing that a lot of people, I feel like I've seen on social media, is definitely the provider and the provider mindset, right? I think every single woman, especially if you're in a hetero relationship or just honestly relationship in general, if you want to be in your divine femme and you want to be in your soft girl era, you definitely need somebody who is a provider or who has a provider mindset. Because just because, somebody maybe can't provide financial security for you, they can provide emotional security. They can provide taking care of you in other ways that does not just mean financial. But I think what's really important too is if their goal is to financially take care of you and they're actively working towards that goal, I think that's very important. Like you don't want to write off somebody just because they don't financially got it right now, because you don't know how many stories I've heard. Or like, for example, my husband, when I first started like making my money, my husband worked at Tesla and he was just like a regular schmegular old factory line worker. I don't really know the exact term, but like he was a line worker, right? So like, yeah, he made good money, but it wasn't the money that I was making, right? But he had the provider mindset. He had the mindset of no matter what, like the goal is I'm going to be financially secure. I'm going to take care of my wife. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get there. And now he owns his own business and he's doing all of that stuff. But if he didn't have that mindset and if he wasn't actively working towards those goals, then bitch, I would have been gone a long time ago. So if he is, or they are actively working towards those goals, actively trying to become a provider for you and have that provider mindset. And also another thing too, like I said earlier, just because they're not providing for you financially does not mean that they can't provide for you emotionally, and just other little things in your life, like helping, taking care of you, doing acts of service for you, taking care of your car, taking care of like the things around the house, or like, like doing things for you that you don't have to like ask for. Like, cause when women are always asking for like, can you take care of this? Can you do this? And nagging. Men, you're taking us out of our divine femme easily. That's like the quickest fucking way. And when a woman has to nag all the time, like, can you do this? Can you do that? You forgot to do this. You didn't take out the trash. Like always fucking asking the guy, please do this. you're taking her out of her divine femme. And if you have an actual provider mindset and you actually want to be a provider, she wouldn't have to ask for you to do all of those things. You would just do them because you're taking care of your woman. So don't think that if he doesn't have, the literal financial situation at the time of the relationship, doesn't mean that he can't be a provider. He can be in the future if he has like the other qualities of a provider, if you get me. Also, this does not apply though if he's like 50 years old and he doesn't have any like financial backing, then run the other way. Next point, are they capable of showing emotional maturity? I think this is a huge thing when we're trying to figure out if this person adds anything to your life, because if he cannot or they cannot have a sit down conversation with you and be able to speak and have like emotional intelligence, they're going to take away from your life. More likely than not, you are probably a little bit more emotionally in tuned, a little bit more aware. And if he can't even like try to get to your level, if he can't even try to like get there with you and match that energy, honey, he's just taking away from you. So really looking at what can he add to your life, or what is he adding to your life currently right now. Number 3, what does this person take away from your life? So piggybacking off of what we just talked about, what can he add? What the fuck is he taking away? And hold on, don't be like, oh, he's not taking away anything. Like, we're great. Hold on now, child. Do they take away your feelings of insecurity? Do they take away your survival mindset or your fight or flight mindset? Do they take away your anxiousness? Do they take away like all of those things? They should be taking away that stuff. And if they're not, that's a huge sign that they're not the one. If you don't feel like safe, I was just talking to my husband about this the other night. Before we lived together, we were in college together, and we would always I'd go back to his place and we would take like naps between classes. And I would knock the fuck out. Like when I say I would knock out, I would drool all over his chest. Like I was literally we were laughing because I was like, that was disgusting. I can't believe that you let me just drool all over your chest. And wow, like you must really, really love me. And I got to thinking like the reason why I was able to just knock the fuck out was because I felt so safe in his company. Like my anxiety was gone. My like walls that I had always built up, like even when I slept by myself, like in my parents' home, I'm safe in my parents' home and that's great and all of that stuff. But like I still have this anxiety about sleeping alone, and just having nightmares and things like that. And so when I was with him, all of that stuff diminished and it was away, and I was able to like fully rest and go to sleep. That is what I'm talking about with what are they taking away from you and your life. They can also be taking away bad things, right? So like, do they take away your freedom? Do they take away your like choices? You don't know how many times I hear so many women or people talk about, oh, no, my husband like wouldn't let me do that, or like, no, he made the decision, like we're going to do this, or whatever the case may be. And there's a difference between somebody or a man guiding you down the right path and telling you, maybe we should do it this way. Let's look at it this way, or this would help us this would put us in a better situation. That is a different thing. That's the provider mindset, right? But if he's telling you, no, we're doing this, no, you're doing that, you're wearing your hair like this, you're going to wear this clothes, I don't like seeing you in that, then he's taking away your freedom, your choices. And honey, he is not the one. He just wants to be your keeper, not your husband. That's a big difference. Okay. We're going to move on to number 4. Be realistic. When I say be realistic, don't be getting all, oh my gosh, be realistic. But when I say be realistic in the aspect of relationships and marriage are not sunshine and rainbows 24/7. Like you are not going to be happy 24/7 in your relationship and in your marriage. And anybody who tells you that they're happy 24/7, they're fucking lying and they're bullshit, and don't listen to them. Do not take advice from them because it's bullshit. When I was getting married, I would literally ask anybody that like I was talking to my wedding about. I would ask, like, I have older clients. I remember I specifically asked my little brother's old babysitter. We had saw her at Hobby Lobby one year, and I was like, I'm getting married. What advice do you have as a married couple? Like, what to a new married couple was one piece of advice that you wish that you knew a long time ago? And you always hear the communication and blah 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 blah, but something that she told me, and it stuck true, is that you are not going to be happy 24/7 in your marriage. And she sat there and talked to me about how there was a year in their marriage that they just were not happy. Literally, like, they low-key hated each other. They could not stand each other, and it was for a whole fucking year. But if they hadn't waited that year out and moved on and like forgave each other for that year of just unhappiness, they wouldn't be in a committed, loving, loyal, happy, healthy relationship and marriage that they've been in for like over 20 years. So understand that even if you're going through a rough patch in your relationship, and it's like, when I say rough patch, obviously I'm not talking like he's unloyal, he's beating you, or he's, doing things that are like completely wrong. Right? If he's doing things like that, then get the fuck out. But if it's just like there's a rough patch, or there's like this roommate stage, or just things happen in a relationship, and that happens, wait it out, understand, and be realistic that relationships aren't going to be happy 24/7. You're not happy 24/7, right? There's moments where you're like, oh, like I just don't want to do this. I don't want to be around here, or like I don't want to go to work, or whatever the case may be. And there's depression and things like that. And things happen in people's lives, like change is going to happen. There's going to be deaths in the family. There's going to be sickness. There's going to be money problems. There's going to be all these things that happen. And if he is the one, then you definitely need to be patient, both of you guys, right? So we're going back to how are we figuring out if he is the one or if they are the one? If you can be realistic and wait. If you can be patient and understand that this is just a rough patch. If you can't be patient and you can't understand, then he's not the one. Okay? Simple as that. Comparison is the thief of joy. So like I had said before, I wanted to talk a little bit more on this, because this is honestly one of my favorite quotes, is comparison is the thief. My God, you guys, I cannot talk today. Comparison is the thief of joy, because we live in a world, right, where we have social media. And as much as I love social media and it's given me so much, and I've seen it give a lot to others, and it's a way that we can express ourselves and all of that. But it is a really toxic place sometimes, where the whole point, unfortunately, of social media is to compare and to brag. It's to post what you've got going on, and it's to post the good stuff. It's not to post the bad stuff, and it's to compare. And a lot of people end up sitting there looking at themselves in their life and looking at what they see on social media, and only focusing on the fact that these people are posting good things, and they kind of like forget that there's like a whole nother part to their lives. There's a whole nother back end that nobody's posting about, right? Just like the lives that you have. I'm sure your social medias don't deflect all of the horrible shit that's gone on in your life, right? You probably didn't post about how you lost your job, or how couldn't pay mortgage this month, or whatever the fucking case may be, right? You're not going to post the horrible shit, but I'm sure you did post, you got that brand new car, you got a job, a new position at your job, you got great things. So understand that people are going to do the same thing. And when you sit there and you compare yourself, especially compare your relationship to others, you are literally going to take away your own joy. I always see, like, on social media, like TikTok, right? We're in November, so boo baskets were like a huge thing a couple weeks ago. And I saw this girl, and she was so upset because she didn't get a boo basket. Like, all she wanted from her boyfriend was a boo basket. And I get it. And that, yes, our partners should be listening to the things we want. But the reason why she wanted the boo basket so bad was because she wanted to post about it, and she saw so many other people posting about it. But a year ago, you didn't even know what a boo basket was. A couple months ago, you didn't even know what a boo basket was. It wasn't that important to you a couple months ago. It's unfortunately this huge comparison thing that we see on social media. So really try your hardest to not fall victim of this comparison war that we have here on social media, and even just like even outside of social media. I see people all the time comparing their lives even in person, and I'm like, damn, like this is a fucking fight. I remember being friends with these two girls who had babies at the same time, and honey, it was literally like a war. Oh, my kid did this, my kid did that, we bought my kid this, we bought my kid that. And just the comparison of it all, remember, it's the literal thief of your own joy. So once you take yourself out of that, and once you realize I'm not going to compare myself anymore, or my relationship, oh my God, girl, your relationship going to get so much better. So much better. Okay. Ooh, this one might hurt. This one might hurt. Okay. I'm just warning you. You cannot expect something from someone that you cannot give. So if you are expecting a man to make you a housewife and to financially provide for you in an immaculate way, like buying you Hermes bags and you're driving a brand new Mercedes all the time, and you have like a freaking or what's that, like mountain? What's that fucking mountain called? Mount Everest on your fucking finger. Okay. But you can't make a home. If you can't cook, if you can't clean, if you can't have a nurturing aspect to yourself, if you can't do the things that maybe he wants, but you expect him to do the things you want, that is not fair. That is not a relationship. You cannot expect somebody to do all of these grand things, but you never do that for them. A relationship is about give and take. Finding the one, being with the one, is about a give and take relationship. So if you really want that in your life, if you really want somebody who just whatever, if you want somebody who has like a big college degree, well, they're probably going to want somebody who has a big college degree too. So you have to have the same thing, right? You cannot expect 100 from them and 0 from you. You're not going to get very far, honey. I'm sorry. You're not going to get very far. You're going to get shitty relationships, and you're going to get shitty people in your life, and it's not going to be fun. Okay. So now we are going to move on to the second segment of today's episode, is how the fuck are you going to tell if you're wasting your time in a relationship? All right. Number 1, do they respect your boundaries? Like, are they respectful of whatever you are setting your boundary? And I have seen it, I think in relationships, I have seen boundaries get pushed so much more than in friendships. In friendships, it happens, but relationships, because they think that they can get away with it. Most of the time, they do get away with it. So when I said like earlier, stand on business, bitch, you better stand on fucking business with your boundaries. Stand on business. And if they continue to push them and to pry and to try to get you to push over your boundary, then you're obviously wasting your time, because they're just going to continue to do that. And eventually you're going to get really fucking tired of that. And you don't want to be 5 years down the line tired that this man always pushes your boundaries. Number 2, this one is a 2-parter. If it has been past a year and you haven't met family, or there is no sign of a higher commitment within a year, I am not saying that you should get a ring within a year. I am not saying that. Let me be very clear. But if there is no sign, or if there's no movement to a higher commitment in your relationship and it's been a year, there will never be one. Okay? If there's no communication about that, there's no, I really want to buy you a ring, or I want to do this, or I want to do that, honey, it's never going to happen. I see it all the time where, oh, we've been together for like 6-7 years, but yeah, he's going through a really hard time right now, and he just doesn't have the money for a ring. No, if it's 6-7 years and he hasn't been able to save at least $1,000-$1,500 for a freaking engagement ring from you. Wrong. But he's getting that coochie for free. No. He's just so comfortable, and he's used to what he's getting, and he's not going to work for anything more. If he's already getting what he wants, he's not going to work for anything more. Okay. So when I first got with my boyfriend, my husband, my God, maybe like 6 months in, mind you, I was 17 when I got with him, but I knew what I wanted. Okay. I said, if by 5 years, because again, I'm 17 years old, 5 years from now, if I don't have a ring on my finger, or if we're not moved in together, I am out. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to waste my time because I know that I am valuable. I know I have a lot to bring to the table. I know I'm going somewhere in my life and I'm not going to sit here and waste my time. So if you're not going to give that to me within the next 5 years, then I got to go. And he knew that. He knew that that was his deadline. If that's not happening, then he's out. And mind you, or not that he's out, I'm pushing him out. Okay. Remind you, during these 5 years, we're actively working towards that. We're talking about, okay, we're going to move in together, looking at apartments. What's that going to look like? Where would we like to live? Things like that. He's asking me pretty much like what, like ring styles I like, things like that. If there's no movement towards that higher commitment, it's never going to happen. I promise you. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it is never going to happen. Do not believe that bullshit of, oh, he's got so much going on. No, honey, he does not have so much going on. You need to stop being delusional. And that goes on to my next part, right? There's a difference between delulu and delusional. Do not be that girl that makes excuses for him for every single thing he does. If you have to make the excuse for him, then you are wasting your time and you will make excuses for him for the rest of your life. Okay? Because now he's used to you making excuses that he won't even make the excuse anymore. You've made it for him, so he doesn't even have to try. I don't even know what number we're on anymore. 5, I think. Watch how they speak about other women. Watch how they talk about their mom. That is like, ooh, that's easy. That is easy peasy lemon squeezy. If he talks about his mom and he reads her to filth, if he talks about her like she is a dog, I guarantee you, as I'm sitting right here, he is a woman hater. And he will talk about you and talk to you the same exact way. So pay attention to how he speaks about women and what they do and how they dress and how they act, because that's exactly what he thinks about you in that little fucked up mind of theirs. Number, I think 6, what are their intentions? This is a big one too. What are their intentions? Are they always, answer me this question, okay? Every single time they see you, are you guys having sex or is there a sexual encounter? Every single time they see you. Is there any time that you see them and there's no sexual encounter? Like, do they at least bring you coffee and not ask for a blowy in the fucking parking lot? Okay. Do they put you first, or are they always asking, hey, give me a roadie? Okay, like what is their intentions with you? Do they see you as anything other than sex? Is the relationship anything more than sex? Or is it always, hey, come back to my place, let's have sex, eat some food, and then you're out the door, or you're spending the night and you're out the door? Is that the extent of the relationship? Because if that is, you're more than likely wasting your time. Number 6, how do they speak about their past relationships? This is our last one for the evening or for the day, because you guys are going to watch this during the daytime. How do they speak about their past relationships? Now, this can be 2 different ways. If they are constantly talking about their ex, like they literally don't stop talking about their ex, like, oh my God, yeah, me and my ex used to go do this, or oh, my ex loved that pizza, or whatever the fucking case may be. If they're always talking about their ex, it is more than likely they are not over them, and they will always compare you to their ex. Their exes will become the one that got away, the one that they're always going to think about years and years down the line. And you don't want to be that person, that woman, 5, 10, 15, 20 years where their husband is dreaming about their ex that they had from when they were 20. So pay attention to how they speak about their ex. Number 2 in that little segment is if they are dogging their ex, like they're always like, oh yeah, I heard the other day this man called his ex Satan herself. Okay. I'm not going to say that there's not women out there that aren't damn near Satan herself. Okay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that every man is the one who's been wrong in the relationship. I'm not saying that women aren't wrong. What I'm saying is if he's always saying, oh yeah, my ex did this, they treated me like shit, they ran me through the mud. If he can't take any type of accountability in anything in that relationship, then he's never going to take accountability with you, babe. And that's wasting your fucking time, because that's just going to lead you down a long road of issues and arguments that you're never going to be able to grow from or work on or work towards an actual healthy relationship. So pay attention to how he talks about his ex. That, I think, is like the biggest, clearest sign of you are wasting your time, is if they're constantly talking about their ex or they are always dogging on their ex. Biggest sign. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I hope that you were able to really learn a lot today. I hope you were able to kind of evaluate your relationship. I hope you guys are in healthy fucking relationships. If you're listening to Bestie Talk, you better be in healthy relationships. The hell? You better not be in no relationships with no men who are freaking using, abusing you. We don't stand for that over here. Okay? I love you guys so much. I hope you learned a lot from today. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.